So I was browsing through Reddit the other day, trying to avoid shitty homemade porn and maybe even find some content ideas for this channel, and I came across this amazing post on the men's rights subreddit there. It's called Simple Rules for Protecting Yourself in the Workplace, and because I work in an office primarily with women, it's just the nature of the type of job that I do, 9 to 5, I thought to myself, let me play it safe. Let me see what these simple rules are, and you will not believe what I found in this post, unless you're familiar with men's rights activists, in which case you'll absolutely believe that this is indeed a real post made without even a shred of irony. Now, I try not to be the type of channel that just shits on men's rights activists. It seems to be something that's pretty ubiquitous in the men's liberation space and also across the general manosphere. But sometimes I look through posts on the men's rights subreddit and it is just that meme of like that kid with like a boot on his head and then it zooms out and it's like the kid and his arm is in the boot and he's just like pressing it down in his head. You know what meme I'm talking about. MRAs, a lot of the time, at least on the subreddit, seem to be keeping themselves in a prison of their own making. And I really just want to talk about this post for just a few minutes. This is just going to be a short video, mainly for entertainment rather than education. But I think that it is educational in the sense of this is what the mindset of a lot of men's rights activists is. It's this kind of self-persecutory mindset that stops MRAs from actually taking action, even though they are so good at pointing out problems that exist for men and hypocrisies in the way that we treat men in society. So let's have a quick read through this Reddit post and learn a little bit about this MRA who has accidentally discovered how to not sexually harass women in the workplace, or just be a general pest. So the post says that this recent post, which I haven't read, I can make a general assumption about what it's about and probably so can you, but it says, this recent post inspired me to share these simple rules I follow in order to protect myself from drama and false accusations by female co-workers, which is of course something that happens all the time, except that it really doesn't. So the rules are as follows. No touching besides introductory handshakes. Rule number 2, I never comment on their looks. This applies for both positive and negative comments. I don't even do it when they are not around. And number 3, I never talk about dating or sex with/around them. There, it's that simple. I followed these rules since I started working and had 0 problems or complaints so far. In my eyes, the not following these rules is a risk not worth taking, especially for unattractive guys like myself. I've heard my female co-workers calling guys creeps for merely attempting what I would judge to be corporate friendly and politically correct flirting. That's a brand new term. I've got no idea what the fuck that means. It only takes one willing to escalate things beyond gossip to ruin your livelihood. Sadly, gynocentric society we live in is not going away anytime soon, so we have to adapt to it. And as I've said, the amazing thing about this post is that this guy has just accidentally discovered how to not be a creep at work. And if you are watching this and kind of cringing about the fact that he has accidentally discovered this and he's sharing it as if it's some kind of gospel truth, leave a like on this video, even though that has really nothing to do with it. I just like likes on my videos. Good for the algorithm. So let's go through these points one by one. So the first one is no touching besides introductory handshakes. And I love the implication of this, that kind of before he started implementing these rules, that he was like just like approaching women in the workplace and just like giving them a friendly slap on the ass like it's Mad Men and he's Don Draper. Like, this isn't even a rule for the workplace, and it's not even a rule for men kind of to hold up against women either. Like the men that I do work with at work, I don't, you know, if I go in, I'm giving them like a handshake or a fist bump or something, but I'm not going there and just like giving their biceps a squeeze thinking, oh, you've been to the gym, because that's weird. Like, yes, of course, if you're in a workplace where you only know people professionally, act professionally, handshakes, fine. Everything else, probably not. Like greeting people with a hug or like the classic French kiss. Like, This is so far beyond common sense that I genuinely cannot tell if this post was made ironically, because I suspect that it might have done and that I'm the one just getting kind of whooshed. Anyway, the second rule is I never comment on their looks. This applies to both positive and negative comments. I don't even do it when they're not around. Again, if you're in a professional workplace, yeah, you should probably avoid this if you don't know the people too well. I avoid this at my workplace because there's some people that I don't know there too well, but there's also a few of the girls that I do know quite well. And it really is about kind of knowing how to compliment them and doing it in the right way. Like, I'm not going to walk up to one of them and be like, wow, your ass looks fantastic today, because that would be unprofessional and a bit of a dickhead thing to say. But it doesn't stop me from complimenting them when it is a genuine comment. Generally, I do think that it is something that probably should be avoided unless you are friends with people, and you'll kind of know when it is okay to compliment someone because they'll probably give you a nudge to do it. Like, they'll walk in and say something like, do you notice anything different? And then you can kind of be like, shit, is it the hair? Is it the shoes? It could be anything. Just take a stab in the dark and try to avoid making the compliment kind of creepily. Don't be like, oh, have you been at the gym doing those squats? Like, that's probably a bit weird. I know that I'm overcomplicating it now, but for people who are like generally socially adjusted, this just kind of comes as second nature, and it always comes out awkward when I try to actually describe what the rules are, because the rules are just kind of like innate and I just follow the innate rules. And rule number 3 is I never talk about dating or sex with/around them. Again, if it's a professional workplace, yes, you probably shouldn't. Like, these are not rules to not get accused of sexual harassment or not be accused of being a creep. These are the ways to act professionally in a professional workplace. These are rules that you should probably follow with men as well. Again, I'm not walking up to the guys that do work in my workplace and saying, like, you wouldn't believe the chick that sucked me off in the nightclub on Saturday night. Like, it's not happening. They're going to be like, who are you again? And when is your probation review coming up? It's so strange to see this kind of persecution fetish that is on this subreddit. It's not at all unexpected, but it's always a pleasure to read about for a little bit of entertainment. Yes, these are general rules that you should follow, and you probably haven't been accused of sexual harassment or being a creep because you've been professional, which is what the majority of people do, and that's why the majority of people don't get falsely accused. Now, if you did go up to a woman in your workplace that you didn't know and touch them in a way that isn't business friendly, like an introductory handshake or a fist bump if you're feeling really saucy, then yeah, you're probably going to get accused of being a creep. Like, we have like general ideas of like what is appropriate touching. Yeah, you probably shouldn't talk about sex in the workplace. Yes, you probably shouldn't compliment people on their looks if you don't know them too well, if it's unsolicited. And even if you do compliment someone because they have shown themselves to be receptive to compliments and that they don't mind it, you should probably cut back on it anyway. Why? Because it's a professional workplace. My god, the comments on this have been absolute gold, but I cannot go through them. This video is only supposed to be like 5 minutes long, and I feel like it's probably run over. Let me know if you follow these rules in the workplace, and let me know if you have also managed to find yourselves kind of avoiding false accusations because you just treat people in your workplace professionally, since it's a professional workplace. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel. I don't generally do videos like this. I generally do videos on more serious topics, like the one that has just popped up on screen now, so go check that out if you want to see really what the channel is actually about. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.